Hello YouTube, welcome back. This is a DVD Blu-rays pickups video. I've been picking up a lot of movies, a lot of cartoons over the past few months. So this is actually a culmination of many months of pickups, not just condensed into 1 month, because that would be ridiculous, as I have a small mountain over here. For those that don't know, for those who probably haven't been watching my channel for very long, I am actually a very big cinema lover. Like, I love movies. I'd probably even say I love movies more than games, believe it or not. I really do. I love movies. I love a lot of like my nostalgia is like I like a lot of old movies from my childhood. A lot of stuff that you guys probably watched as well if you're around my age. You know, RoboCop, Predator, Goonies, etc., etc. And also, I'm very nostalgic for a lot of the cartoons that I used to watch as a kid. So anyway, I've got a selection here of stuff that I've picked up over the span of about 3 months, possibly 4 months. I haven't had time to make videos before, so I'm just trying to show them. Well, this is not actually going to be all of them. These are just selections of what I've picked up, because if I showed everything that I bought, it'd be a 3-hour video. So rather than that, I'm just sort of going to focus on all my Steelbooks. I'm a big Steelbook collector, Blu-ray Steelbook collectors. I'm probably not as big as some other dedicated Steelbook channels, but I do like to collect Steelbooks where I can. I've got a few regular Blu-rays as well as some retro cartoons and some other stuff as well. So there's a lot to go through, so I'll just get started here. I'm going to start with some regular DVD pickups, just some stuff that just some gaps in my Blu-ray collection that I sort of realised I didn't have. I didn't even have these films on DVD, strangely enough, because I love these movies. Let's get the sad one out of the way. Schindlers List. Brilliant movie. I think most of us have seen this film. Very depressing. Probably one of a very small amount of films that can actually bring me to tears. Seriously, this film really brings it out in me. Very, very depressing film, but uplifting at the same time, because it obviously does. I'm not going to say it has a happy ending, but it's certainly a triumph over evil, despite what happens. I mean, if you're familiar with the story of Schindler's List, then you'll know what I'm talking about. But it's a fantastic film. From all the cast involved, definitely one of Spielberg's best movies. Very, very powerful film. Next thing I've got here is the Rocky collection. I love the Rocky films, I really do. I mean, most of us do. I know recently Cojones del Oro and Gashead 66 were having their back and forth about which one was the best film, Rocky 3 or Rocky 4. I'll just put my opinion out there. It's Rocky 3. Sorry, Gashead, it's Rocky 3. You can't beat Clubber Lang. I know that Ivan Drago is a very entertaining villain. But yeah, nothing beats Mr. T, I'm afraid. But yeah, this has got all the movies, all up to 6. And you know what? I'm actually going to put it out there. I like Rocky 5. Yes, I do. I know a lot of people hate it. It's the most hated film in the series, but I don't think it's that bad. I actually like the storyline in it. I like the fact that Rocky was trying to train up a new guy, and then the guy turned on him, and then he had that, in my opinion, was actually a really cool street fight. But I know a lot of people hate it. I'm not trying to say it's the best in the series or nothing like that at all. It isn't. It is the weakest in the series, but I still enjoy it for what it is. But yeah, really glad to get this. I'm very surprised I actually never had this even on DVD, but yeah, glad to get it now. Moving on, next film I've got here is the Wolverine. I actually really enjoyed this when I saw it in the cinema. Believe it or not, I even like this more than Iron Man 3. yeah, so it was better than what I was expecting it to be. Much better than what I expected it to be. It was a bit of a letdown at the end with the main villain. I didn't really like their interpretation of Silver Samurai. Look that up on Wiki, guys. Yeah, I didn't really like their interpretation of the Silver Samurai, but otherwise, I thought this was a very enjoyable film, and I really like Hugh Jackman in the role. So yeah, got that. A couple of Disney films here, just essentially trying to build up my my Disney collection on Blu-ray. Not trying to get all of them, just the ones that I really love, and these are two of my favourites, and they are Pinocchio and Aladdin. Love these movies. Definitely two of my favourites. Yeah, I mean, if you've not seen these, you know, get them. Fantastic films. Love them. Okay, moving on. I have an anime series here. I haven't had a chance to watch this yet, but this is a follow-on from an quite established series. Already got two series have come out. This is sort of like the third / spin-off series, and that is Black Lagoon, Roberta's Blood Trail. If you're not familiar with Black Lagoon, if you don't know anything about anime, Black Lagoon is about a series of mercenaries. They're sort of like smuggler pirates, and each sort of episode has them dealing with a mission and whatnot. And it's a very good series. It's made by Madhouse. That's the studio that made such great animes as Cyber City Oedo, Ninja Scroll, those sorts. So I'm always a fan of Madhouse, and I always like to see what they come up with next. And this is a fantastic series. I have yet to watch all of this yet. This is a spin-off of one of the characters that had a very brief appearance in the original series, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. Next anime collection series I've got here is Dragon Ball Z Season 9. This essentially rounds off the Dragon Ball Z series. Sorry, itchy nose. Oh, yeah. This rounds off the entire. This is like the final 38 episodes of the Dragon Ball Z series. I'm a huge fan of Dragon Ball Z. Love the series. I actually had a big chunk of them on Blu-ray, which I got from America, because essentially America, they had the Dragon Ball Z Kai series. And what that is they essentially took all the old, big chunk of the Dragon Ball Z episodes, cleaned them up, remastered them, redubbed them with the better scripts, still using the original voice actors, but just making the scripts a lot more better, a lot more faithful to the original manga comic, and it's fantastic. And I've got the set on Blu-ray. Unfortunately, it didn't complete the entire run of Dragon Ball Z. It only ends up to a certain point. So I decided to get these DVD versions of the series, starting from the point from which my Blu-rays finished. So this essentially finishes off the entire run for me, and it's great to have. I mean, the Blu-ray version sort of removed all the filler. It's a lot tighter. It's a lot better, in my opinion. But since they don't seem to have any plans on completing the series on Blu-ray anytime soon, I thought I would get the remaining series on the DVD. So yeah, I've got that. Okay, moving on now. I've got some cartoons here. Before I get to the retro ones, I'll start with these more recent cartoons. This is a series that I'm a very big fan of. Unfortunately, it was cancelled. It was cancelled after 2 seasons. It's a Marvel series. Essentially, Marvel cancelled this series because they wanted to sort of start again with a brand new show. And it is Earth's Mightiest Heroes, Avengers. And I'll just show one up. Yeah, it's essentially the entire run of Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and it's a really good series. In my opinion, this is probably the last of the Marvel cartoons that doesn't really treat the viewers like idiots. The current crop of fully produced Marvel cartoons that are out now, namely Ultimate Spider-Man, Avengers, I think it's Avengers Assemble, and Hulk and the Agents of Smash. I just can't get into them. They're really sort of they don't really treat the viewers with any real level of intelligence. They sort of talk down to kids, and they're not really accessible to adults like the other cartoons were. And this is probably the last of the Marvel cartoons that was accessible to adults as well as kids. It's a real shame, because I don't really understand why animation companies today prefer to 100% fully cater to children, as opposed to making a series that would appeal to all ages. Because when it comes to these sort of series, who are the people that buy these complete collections and stuff? It's adults. It's not kids. It's adults. So they probably make more money that way if they try to appeal to a wider demographic. But the trend now seems to be to specifically aim at children, which is just a ploy to sell more toys. That's really what they want. They're not really concerned about good storytelling, good scripts. It's a shame, really. But hey, I mean, I've got this series. It's the complete run of Avengers. It's a shame that they released them in these single volumes as opposed to a box set, which would have been a lot better. But they weren't expensive, so glad to get those. Moving on, just got 2 add-ons here on DVD to complete one of my favourite cartoons as a kid. Really happy to get this, because this essentially completes the collection for me, and that is G.I. Joe, a real American hero. For those of you that grew up in the UK in the 80s, it was not known as G.I. Joe. These are Region 1 releases. You can't get these in the UK. Back in the day, this was known as Action Force. It was I don't know if the cartoon was that popular, but I remember the toys being very popular at the time. When I was a kid, I had a lot of the vehicles and the soldiers. They used to be like sort of 6-inch figures. They were quite small, about 4 or 5 inch figures, something like that. And the vehicles were fantastic, and I was a big fan of the series growing up as a kid. But yeah, in the UK it was known as Action Force, but because these are Region 1 copies, it's G.I. Joe. Yeah, these complete. This is volumes 1.1 and volumes 1.2. I have 1.3 and 2.0, which is essentially the second season. So that completes that. I really do love G.I. Joe. Big fan of the retro stuff. I've got other favourites of mine include Thundercats, Visionaries. I've got the complete runs of all of that. Yeah, so just nice to finally get these. Unfortunately, these are Region 1. You will need a Region 3 player to play these. Okay, finally, I've got some Steelbooks here, Steelbook Blu-ray movies. Great selection here, just a lot of stuff that some are new movies and some are just movies from the past, movies that I grew up with. I did set myself some rules in order to control my spending habits when it came to Steelbooks, because nowadays Steelbooks are released constantly. And what a lot of these more dedicated Steelbook collectors are starting to find out is that they just can't keep up. Their bank balance can't keep up with these Steelbooks. So I sort of made some rules for myself. I would only get Steelbooks for films that I have proper nostalgia for. I would only get Steelbooks for Tarantino movies. And I would only get Steelbooks for selected brand new movies and comic book movies. That's essentially what my rules are. So if I'm not just going to get a Steelbook for a generic title or just because it's a new release, I have to have genuine interest in it or the genre in order for me to get the Steelbook. I'm a big Tarantino fan, so if I can get all the Tarantino films in Steelbook format, I will do that. If I already have the movie on Blu-ray, I won't get the Steelbook. I was initially gonna go get all the Disney Steelbooks, but I sort of changed my mind on that, which is why you saw the 2 regular Blu-rays as opposed to Steelbooks. And I do want to try and get the Steelbooks to movies that I watched and loved as a kid, which is some of the stuff that you'll see here. So, getting started, I have got here World War Z. As you can see, it's a lovely, lovely Steelbook. And I was really chuffed to get this, actually. I found this at a CEX. This was actually exclusive to only one online store, and it was very expensive. It went for about £26. So I passed on it because I just thought it was a bit too much for this movie. Because although I really enjoyed this movie in the cinema, I'm a big zombie fan. I wasn't willing to spend out on this Steelbook. But then I went to CEX and I found it there, and it was going for the same price as a regular Blu-ray edition, so I snapped it up right away. Really lucky. There's no dents in it whatsoever. I actually can't believe someone traded this in. Very, very shocked. But yeah. As for the movie itself, I enjoyed it quite a bit, actually. I really did. It's very epic. The world building in this movie is fantastic. I know for some people, for some zombie fans, this film was a big letdown in terms of the level of gore, because when you watch a zombie film, gore is kind of expected. But they had to try and cater to a more of a mass market to try and offset the very large budget of this film. So I'm willing to forgive the lack of gore, because aside from that, it's actually a very action-packed film. I know it doesn't follow the book. I have read the book, and I know it doesn't follow it, so I don't really look of it as an adaptation. I just enjoy the movie for what it is, and it's a fun film, and I love my zombie films. Next one I have here is Man of Steel. I actually really enjoyed this film at the cinema. First time I watched it, I was sort of on the fence. Then I watched it again at the cinema and really did enjoy it. Henry Cavill, that plays Superman, I think did a really great job. He's also probably the most muscular Superman to appear on screen. And I've got a good feeling about him. I was very adamant that that no one could ever replace Christopher Reeve. But so far, he seems to be doing a great job. I can't wait to see the Batman vs Superman movie with Ben Affleck as Batman. I can't wait to see that and see what Henry Cavill does with Superman in the future. But I really do enjoy this film. Very, very action-packed. I know this film got a lot of mixed opinions from the fans, but I really did enjoy it. So yeah, got that. Next one I have here is The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey. This is the extended edition. This has got tons of discs. It's got, how many discs are in here? Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 discs in this. That's a lot of watching. Really enjoyed the Hobbit film. I always sort of hold out for the extended editions. I was a big fan of Lord of the Rings. I did really like this film, and I'm definitely going to go see the part 2 of this in about a week's time. So look forward to that. Next one I got here, this is actually my most recent edition, and that is Kick-Ass 2. I really like this film. I'm quite surprised to see how people are so divided on this movie. I really did enjoy the first Kick-Ass, and I was very much looking forward to the sequel. In my opinion, it didn't disappoint. I really did enjoy it, but it's definitely one that seems to have divided a lot of opinion. But I know I really did enjoy this film, so I'm glad to get it. Okay, now here's one movie of my childhood, one that I really did love as a kid, and that is The Princess Bride. Yeah, fantastic movie. Really is a great sort of action adventure, swashbuckling film. Some great comedy. Just some brilliant quotable lines in this film. I love Andre the Giant in this movie. Great guy. And just all the characters in this film, just fantastic. I highly recommend, if you haven't seen The Princess Bride, guys, definitely check it out. This is definitely a childhood classic. People that have seen this film know what I'm talking about. Such lovable characters, great script. Definitely worth a watch. Next one I've got here, this is another modern film, and that is Pacific Rim. Really enjoyed this film when it came out. I really did. The 3D in this film was fantastic at the cinema. Normally I can't stand 3D in films. I generally don't watch 3D movies. There's only really been a handful of 3D films that I've enjoyed. Avatar being one of them. And this is actually another. The 3D in this film is fantastic. The script is pretty standard, generic stuff. It's nothing special, but the effects are really good. And as someone that grew up watching a lot of anime, watching stuff like Gundam Wing and Robotech, seeing giant robots I got a real kick out of that. And just having giant robots fighting giant Godzilla-like monsters was brilliant. So yeah, very much enjoyed this film. This is definitely a one to get on Blu-ray. Next one I've got here, this is a movie that I very much enjoyed when I was a bit younger. I saw this film at the cinema actually. Just another great film from director Paul Verhoeven, and that is Starship Troopers. I just love the message in this film. It's very sort of talking about anti-fascism, and it sort of spoofs a lot of that. It's sort of set in a very fascist future. It's sort of set, if I recall, it's sort of set 400 years in the future, where society's become very much a totalitarian society. Some cool messages, great satire, and definitely the sort of trio of Paul Verhoeven Gorefest. He started off with RoboCop, then he went on to make Total Recall, and then he made Starship Troopers. Just 3 movies of just great satire, great gore, and just very enjoyable films to watch. Next Steelbook I have here is Sam Raimi's The Evil Dead. Believe it or not, I had actually never seen the original Evil Dead film up until my late teens. First Evil Dead movie I saw was Evil Dead 2. That film scared the crap out of me when I was a kid, but it was one of those films that, even though it sort of traumatized me, like I kept going back and watching it. I also have that on Steelbook actually. But yeah, really glad to get this one as well. It's got lots of special features. This is actually a very cheap Steelbook. You can get this for less than a tenner now. This version is a lot more of a strict horror film, whereas Evil Dead 2 is essentially a remake of this film, but with a lot more comedy elements to it. I still prefer the sequel, but if you like straight up horror, this is definitely one you should get. Next one I have here is Reservoir Dogs, one of my favourite Tarantino films. Like I had said before, I am trying to get all the Tarantino movies in Steelbook format, so definitely had to pick this one up. Just a really great film. I'm sure a lot of you have already seen Reservoir Dogs. If you haven't, get on it. It's a fantastic movie. Next one I have here is 13 Assassins. This is a fantastic samurai movie. I really recommend this film to everyone. I don't want to say anything about it, but if you want to see some hardcore, violent samurai action, this is a recent film as well. This is not an old film. This film only came out a few years ago, but this film is raw. Okay, this is actually one of the rawest films I've seen. If you like martial arts movies, if you like samurai films, check out 13 Assassins. You will not regret it, believe me. And last 2 films I've got here. Next one up is a bit of a childhood classic here. Absolutely loved this film as a kid. It's still held up over the years. Yeah, I mean, I can pretty much guarantee most of you, anyone that's in or around my age has seen this film and probably loves it as well. And that is The Goonies. Yeah, great movie. I don't really know what to say about this film. It's a classic. It's a childhood classic. It stands the test of time. There's a reason why the actors today even talk about this film, even though this film came out in 1985 or 84, 85. And the actors still all came back and did commentary for this movie because it's such a well-loved film. Yeah, definitely watch this, guys. This is definitely the sort of film that is great to pass on to your kids. If I ever have kids, this is definitely one of the movies I'm gonna get them to watch because yeah, just a great all sort of family film, adventure movie, fantastic. And finally, this is actually something quite special. The film was not necessarily one of my favourite movies, but when I saw this Steelbook, I had to get it because when I was a kid, I loved this particular character, and you'll understand when you see her. And that is From Dusk Till Dawn. And as you can see, it's got Salma Hayek here on the front as the stripper vampire queen. When I was a teen, I was all about Salma Hayek, especially in this movie. Definitely the best she's ever looked was in this film. And the film's not bad as well. Like, the film is just a great, very quotable, odd film, because it really is sort of like, you could split the film down the middle. It's like the first half of the movie is very much like a road sort of slash heist movie, and the second half of the film is just a balls out vampire film. But I very much enjoyed this movie, and this is actually a very good Steelbook. Unfortunately, I haven't taken it out of the plastic yet, so I can't really show you much about it. But yeah, it's a great film. I really do enjoy this one. If you're a fan of sort of Tarantino dialogue or Robert Rodriguez's films, you know, stuff like Machete or Sin City, definitely one you should check out. So that's it, guys. Those are my DVDs and Blu-rays for the last about 3 or 4 months. And I still missed out stuff. I kept some stuff out because I didn't want to be here too long. But yeah, just sort of give you an impression of what I'm sort of picking up and what I'm after. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what films appeal to you. Put them in the comments below. I'd love to hear what your favourite films are. Especially if there's any films that you particularly like, please let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear what you guys think. And thanks again for watching, guys. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Very much appreciated. And I will be back very soon. Bye-bye.